innovation, and collaboration, and integrates it into the curriculum of real-world science, technology, engineering, and math. Although our program is in its 4th year, we are excited to open this beautiful state-of-the-art campus for the 2019-20 school year. And we are even more excited to have all of you here to join us in this celebration of the ribbon cutting ceremony. To start us off this morning, I would like to invite 2 of our eSTEM senior students, Claire O. and Natalie Pineda, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the national anthem sung by our madrigals.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Thank you. You may be seated. Again, we want to thank you all for being here today to celebrate the new opportunities our eSTEM Academy will provide for our students. Because of your support of the Corona-Norco Unified School District, our students have access to state-of-the-art environment learning for students. It is through partnerships with local educational institutions, industry partners, and private sectors that we are able to provide our students with real-world STEM experiences in the classroom and beyond these walls. As Chief of Staff for Corona-Norco Unified School District today, it's my honor to recognize many distinguished guests that we have here with us this morning, and we would like to thank each of you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to celebrate with us today. If the audience would please hold your applause until the end, it would be appreciated because we have many people to recognize at this time. We have here with us from Senator Richard Roth's office, District Director Tyler Mederi. Representing the 60th Assembly District, Assembly Member Sabrina Cervantes' office, we have Senior Field Representative Luisa Tassan. Representing the 2nd District, County Supervisor Karen Spiegel's office, Legislative Field Assistant Matt Maldonado. From the City of Eastvale, we have with us Mayor Todd Rigby. We also have Mayor Pro Tem Brandon Plott, Council Member Jocelyn Yao, and Council Member Joe Tesari. From the City of Corona, we have with us, possibly coming in late, Yolanda Carrillo, Council Member. City of Norco, we have Councilmember Ted Hoffman. Councilmember Kevin Bash. From City of Ribbon Valley, we have Councilmember Michael Goodland. From our Board of Education, we have Board President Mary Helen Ybarra. Vice President Dr. Wallace. Our clerk, we have Bill Pollock. Board Member Lisa Marroquin. And Board Member John Mr. Z. Zikafus. We also have with us today our Superintendent of Corona-Norco Unified School District, Dr. Michael Lynn. And our amazing Executive Cabinet member team, if you could just please stand to be recognized. And our Eastvale Chamber President with us this morning, Hari Diman. Did I leave anyone out, our elected officials or distinguished guests? All right, we did a great job checking everyone in today, so thank you. At this time in our program, it is my pleasure to introduce several people who will be giving some remarks regarding this ribbon cutting ceremony today. We would like to first of all begin with our board president, school board member, President Mrs. Mary Helen Ybarra.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming out to help us celebrate our ribbon cutting. This is such a great event this morning. We are focusing on learning that will be taking place in this beautiful school. Thank you, Ms. Dr. Kim. And we have students here that are in the medical, that are different programs that we are offering here. I know that we will be having lots of doctors going out of here, nurses, EMTs, paramedics. I know phlebotomists for sure. That's one of our programs here. But this is such an amazing school, and it's opening the doors for many of our students in our whole school district. And we thank you for coming out this morning, and we hope you stay for the tour after so you can see some of the great things that we have to offer. Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce our Superintendent of Corona-Norco Unified School District, Dr. Michael Lynn.
Good morning. Thank you very much for being here. As Mary said, thank you for helping us celebrate this momentous occasion. And we've been waiting. And for me, I got to tell you, I try to stay calm, but I'm a little emotional. And I look across the audience, I see some of these faces dating back before Measure GG. It was even a possibility that without that bond measure and without your support, this building simply isn't possible. And thank you all for your support. I know that was a difficult decision. We don't want to the extent possible, ask our citizens, our residents to pay taxes. But we know that that's something that we needed to do in order to continue to build CNUSD, and particularly here in the city of Eastvale. We did a lot of hard work, honest work, coffee meetings in people's homes. Some of you are still here today, and I see some of the faces remembering going to your kitchens, and you open up your homes to us to give us at least the opportunity to make the case. And at the end, we prevail. I remember the next morning, I'll never forget, there was a lot of phone calls coming in. Congratulations to CNUSD. My thought was, we got to pause for a moment. We got to be measured, because it is a celebration indeed that we passed this bond of $396 million to give this future for the school district. But because it was nearly passed, that means it's also an opportunity for us to demonstrate that trust that we have earned, that we need to continue to earn. And so that's what we've been doing each and every day for the past 4 years. And this building is the testament to that work. When I see students, when I walked in from the parking lot this morning, it just fills my heart, because that vision is now being realized. But I also realize that that is not a reality, again, as I mentioned earlier, without the support and the understanding and that trust that you put forth for us as a school district. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. The last thing I wanted to say is, how many staff members are here today? I know I shook at least a few hands out, but will you please stand? If you are a staff member, please stand. You think about this beautiful building that we have erected for the community. It's for our children, for their learning, like Mary said, the different pathways to make sure we have the CTE connection and making sure that college and career ready is a reality for the school district. But it is still just a building. Without the people, without our teachers and administrators, it doesn't happen. So I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for taking part in this really devotion to the work that we're doing for our children, for your hard work and your leadership. Lastly, I will certainly be remiss if I don't say thank you to a couple of people for their leadership over many, many years in terms of planning. First, I'd like to begin with the principal of the school, Dr. Jeremy Goins. Thank you for your leadership, Jeremy. This is not an easy task that you're handling. I believe we're the second largest school in the state of California with 4,800 kids. And certainly to Dr. Lau, your devotion, your planning, truly your love for this work and for our children is much, much appreciated and admired. And I don't want to leave this individual out because I'm telling you, you see the building, but when you come inside the building, when you look at all the different equipment that we have, and the millions of dollars that's outside of Measure GG that we put into this particular building to make sure that we have everything we need for our children. That's Dr. Gina Boster. So Dr. Boster is in the back, always humble, supporting our work. I want to make sure that you acknowledge, because your work is definitely critical to the work that we do. So anyway, without any further ado, let's let the continuation of the celebration move forward. And again, thank you so much for being here and appreciate all your support. Thank you.
And now it is my pleasure to bring back to the podium Director of the Eastvale STEM Academy, Dr. Kim Law.
So unlike Dr. Lin, I need a script. He's an expert. So it is truly an honor to be a part of this journey of building our Eastvale STEM Academy of Eleanor Roosevelt High School from the ground up, literally. Those of you a couple of years ago were here for the groundbreaking ceremony, but I do remember 4 years ago, a group of stakeholders got together and we called that the Eastvale STEM Advisory Committee, and I see some members returning today. We came together to envision what our STEM program would look like and what the building would look like. And so the Eastvale STEM Advisory Committee, we worked closely with LPA, our architect, and we started the process by, we began by profiling, what does this 21st century learner look like? And I remember that was kind of odd. I'm like, why are we spending months on this learner, when we have this building to design? But it made sense to me after, when we opened the building. So what we were looking at is, what does a 21st century learner look like and what are their needs? And so we saw a future-ready student who had the skills to collaborate and communicate effectively with others. We also saw an innovative learner who had no limits to his or her creativity. We knew we would have great problem solvers and critical thinkers in this building. We also envisioned the learning to be problem-based, inquiry-based, and project-based. And after all, that is what STEM learning looks like in the real world, right? So we have healthcare professionals, engineers, mathematicians, computer scientists, and coders. And they're out there solving or finding solutions to real world problems, and they are not given a set of instructions. They just got to figure it out. And so that's what we are teaching our students to do. And they also work collaboratively to invent, to create, and to innovate. So as we profile this 21st century learner and the type of teaching and learning that would happen in this building, we imagined open collaborative spaces with both inside and outside learning spaces where our learning can happen beyond the classroom. We also imagine flexibility where students and teachers can transform the rooms to meet the needs of the day's lesson and activities. We also imagine a state-of-the-art facility that would allow for the necessary technology and equipment to prepare our students for post-secondary education or work in the areas of STEM. This school year, we were able to experience what was once a vision become a reality. As students utilize the collaborative spaces, learning spaces, and as they walk the hallways, we do not just see high school students or these 21st century learners we were trying to profile. What I see is a future oncologist who is working on machine learning to identify fractal cells to indicate the onset of cancer. I see a future aerospace engineer who designed and tested winglets to increase the efficiency of airplanes. I see a future microbiologist working on CRISPR gene editing in the UCR medical labs with grad students. I see a future environmental engineer who worked on a domestic approach to carbon capture, creating filters from cheesecloths to capture carbon in our atmosphere. I can go on and on and on, and I promise you that that is just not my imagination. These were actual research projects that our 9th and 10th grade students conducted over the past couple of years, and many of them are standing right there. Those students do exist here on this campus, and as they all engage in project-based learning where they are finding solutions to real-world problems. But these students couldn't have done it without their dedicated teachers and staff. All of our teachers and counselors in this building are involved in cross-curricular collaboration to provide opportunities and supports for our students to engage in this type of innovative learning. I have seen teachers open their classroom partitions and allow their 11th grade language arts students to provide feedback to the 9th grade language arts students on their semester-long science and engineering research projects. I have seen teachers open up their classroom partitions to co-teach about coding and developing apps. Our math and engineering teachers collaborate to create lessons to teach students how to collect data and how to communicate the data in meaningful ways. Classes have taken advantage of the outdoor spaces to demonstrate that learning can happen anywhere, especially beyond the classroom walls. So although this building has helped us establish this culture of innovative and collaborative learning, it comes down to the people in the building. A building does not make a program, the people in it do. So with that, I would like to thank the teachers for thinking outside of the box and taking risks, to the students for their drive and passion, to the parents for their belief and trust in us to educate your students, and to the Corona-Norco Unified School District and our community for their ongoing and continued support as we provide these special and unique learning opportunities and experiences for our students. We look forward to making connections with local businesses and industry to establish two-way partnerships, as our goal is to also build a bridge from high school to either a community college, four-year university, or straight into the workforce. We are committed to preparing our students to be college and career ready in the STEM fields, and we sure cannot do this alone. So we are committed to being CNUSD future ready. I would also like to take this opportunity to give a special thank you to Mrs. Patty Delatorre of our communications office. She has been instrumental in planning and coordinating this event today. So there she is back there. Also, special thanks to our engineering teacher, Mr. Joe Martinez, and our manufacturing club and students who spent countless hours making the souvenirs for today's event. Nothing is more special than gifts that are made by the hands of our students. And then much appreciation to Mrs. Kelly Sanchez and Becca Daragish, our teachers who have worked with our STEM ambassadors. So this is like our ASB of STEM on this side. And so they will be providing tours for our guests today. So after the ceremony, please stay back so they can kind of show you everything that they are appreciative of. And so again, thank you for being here today. And indeed, it takes a village. Thank you. So right now, I have the honor of introducing one of our STEM senior, Emma Wallace, who has been here in the program, and so I'm going to have her kind of share her experience here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Emma Wallace, and I am a senior at the eSTEM Academy. In 2016, the STEM program was just a ragtag group of 100 freshmen, 6 incredible teachers, the amazing Dr. Law, and a hope for the future of the program. Now we stand here, or sit here, in this beautiful building that still seems too surreal to exist. The first time I walked around the campus, I was speechless, thinking back to every fantasy I ever had about learning here. It still shocks me that this building and program has come so far. It truly is a dream come true. Learning here has been an incredible experience. practicing blood pressure and heart rate on the mannequin arms, practicing patient care on the clinic tables, and working medical cases using the hospital beds has been indescribable. Hearing stories about the engineering and computer science pathways has also been incredible, showing how the program supports the multiple needs of each student here. We would not have these resources in a regular high school, but STEM has given us this amazing opportunity that will surely prepare us for college and the years to come. The projects we complete within STEM further emphasize the skills we will need for college, medical school, trade school, and everything else to come in the future. This is especially evident with the Science and Engineering Research Project. Working on science fair during my freshman year was an excellent introduction to the skills that I would need in order to be successful in high school and college. And I would definitely carry them throughout my life. I had to learn to be creative when thinking of a possible project idea, and when they didn't work, I had to think through these obstacles. Freshman year, my project focused on the psychological aspects of color theory, namely how it could affect test scores. While my results were inconclusive, especially since I only had 10 participants, I was able to learn so much just from this one project. This continued into my sophomore year, when I completed my project regarding the most realistic fake blood for blood spatter research, which began my fascination with forensic science and my desire to become a forensic pathologist, and more into junior year. While I did not complete a project junior year, I was a science fair mentor. This role taught me how to communicate and collaborate with my peers to work through a variety of problems that arose in their projects. This idea of collaboration through our learning and building structure has helped to bring out what STEM really means to me: teamwork. The entire STEM program is a wonderful team of teachers, students, and administration. We all work together, propelling each other forward, unlike other high schools that focus mostly on competing with everyone around them. We work towards our collective goals, moving us forward individually and as an entire program. I know that I can go to any teacher, counselor, or administrator on campus, and they will help me to do my best, even if I have never met them before. It truly is a family, helping each other to do the best that we possibly can. Thank you for being with us today for the ribbon cutting of this unbelievable building and the program it represents. And now for the principal of Eleanor Roosevelt, Dr. Goins.
That was awesome. Well, good morning, friends. It's a great day. It's a perfect day. It's an extraordinary day, and I see so many people that have been here throughout this journey, and it's great to be here with so many friends. And so many people came together to make this happen that it's hard. You think about the list of people you need to thank, and it's so long that I know I'm going to mess that up. So I'm not going to thank anybody. Instead, I thought I would share a story of STEM success. And that story comes from a book, my favorite book. It's called Outliers. It's by Malcolm Gladwell. Raise your hand if you've read the book. Excellent. So some of you have heard the stories in the book, and one of the stories in the book is about Bill Gates, story of Bill Gates. So if you don't know who Bill Gates is, you need to leave right now. No, just joking. Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft and Windows, and basically the father of modern day computing. And he's not only one of the most richest men in the world, he is one of the most philanthropic and supportive people of education in history. So I would say he's a STEM success, and not a bad role model for our kids. But before Bill Gates was such a successful person, he was a scrawny teenager in Seattle. He was a nerdy Washington kid. His dad was a lawyer, and his mom was a teacher and a banker, and so they did pretty well. They had enough money to send him to a private school. And that school was called Lakeside Private School, and it was Lakeside in suburban Seattle. And it was a great school, and it had a lot of parent involvement, and the parent group at Lakeside got together, and they would do fundraisers, and every summer they would spend that money on something. And so in 1968, which was Bill Gates' 7th grade year, they decided to buy a computer for their students. Well, a computer in 1968 was a pretty special deal. In fact, the computer that they bought was the DEC PDP-10. And that computer was owned, they bought it from General Electric, and the terminal of that computer, it ran to a mainframe that was in downtown Seattle. And that computer was one of the most advanced in the country. And even the most prestigious universities at the time didn't have computers like that. In fact, they got the PDP-10 the same year that Stanford got one. Stanford only had a few adults in Stanford had access to it. But in 1978, Bill Gates had access to that in his school when he was in the 8th grade. And he's probably the only 8th grader in the country that had that kind of access. And according to Gladwell in his book, he talks about how Gates just lived at the school. Him and other of his classmates, they taught themselves how to program on that computer. And the parents at Lakeside raised more funds so the students could get more computer time. And actually one of his classmates' parents happened to work in a new company in Seattle that they leased computer time for students. And so that company gave Lakeside students free computer time. And so Gates and his friends would go down on the weekends and they would program. He would spend his nights there, his weekends there, and the connection he built as 8th and 9th grade, as an 8th and 9th grade students, he found himself connected with people at the University of Washington, and that happened to be walking distance from his house. So then he would walk to the University of Washington, they would let him in, and he would program on their computers. And by 1971, Gates was a sophomore in high school, and he was programming 20 to 30 hours a week as a sophomore in high school. And as a 15 and 16-year-old, him and his buddy Paul Allen, they would wake up, and what they found out was at the University of Washington, they did not schedule anybody on the computers between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. And so Gates and Allen would sneak into Washington, and between 3 and 6 in the morning, they would program. While all the world was sleeping, they were programming. And then by his senior year, a Washington alum gave Bill Gates an opportunity because he needed a program written. And the only person he knew that would know how to do that work was the 17-year-old Gates. So he gave Gates an internship, and Lakeside, the school, allowed him to have that internship, and he actually left campus and he did independent study for the second half of his senior year and stayed away. And so by the time he graduated in 1973, Bill Gates had amassed over 10,000 hours of programming on a computer. Now that number is important, and that number is important because Gladwell cites a host of studies that share it. To become a world-class expert at something, you need to practice 10,000 hours. And most people, that would take a lifetime to amass. If you think about it, you did an hour of practice every day, 1 hour every day of your life, that would take you about 30 years to amass close to 10,000 hours. Well, Bill Gates had that by the time he was 18. So Bill Gates had all these amazing circumstances, right, that led to this success. He happened to have rich parents who happened to send him to Lakeside, who happened to have parent support to buy one of the most advanced computers in the country, he happened to live within walking distance of Washington University. He happened to find out that they wouldn't kick him out at 3 in the morning. And his school happened to let him do an internship away from home his senior year. There's no doubt that Bill Gates was a bright kid. But he had innate gifts, but all students have innate gifts. But not every child has the opportunity or the circumstance to have those gifts and those passions developed. And because of the vision from our board and our superintendent and from our community, the dedication of our staff, our teachers, just like Bill Gates, our kids have that kind of opportunity, that kind of incubator here in the eSTEM Academy. So I believe one day someone's going to write a book. They're going to write a book about our students. And they're going to write a book about the amazing set of circumstances that led our students to their success. And they'll write how it all started with a superintendent who was a STEM engineer and decided that he wanted to quit that to become an educator. And they'll write about our STEM director, who was a biology major and decided that she preferred to be a teacher. And those people came together, and it just happened, they happened to come together here at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. And we happen to have amazing teachers, people that are medical doctors before they became teachers. We have Spanish teachers that worked in the medical field before they became Spanish teachers. We've got all types of educators with unique circumstances that happen to come here to Eleanor Roosevelt High School. We have educators that happen to live in Eastvale, so they wanted to transfer to Roosevelt, and all of a sudden we were building a STEM academy, and then they became our computer tech teachers. And they'll even write about Dr. Boster, who happened to be the CTE director and have most knowledge of anyone in the state about how to build a facility and bring the equipment into a facility. All those things happened right here, and despite all of our traffic problems, our community supported this vision. And so, ladies and gentlemen, all those extraordinary circumstances that come together here today, and the future of our students starts with this unique facility, with these amazing people in this awesome community. So thank you. We're really, really proud to be here on the Ribbon Cutting Day for the Eastvale STEM Academy at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. We thank you for your part in our amazing journey and the future of our kids. Thank you.
No, that is the bell, because now it's time for presentations. It is time for presentations of certificates, and we would like to invite all dignitaries or their representatives to come up and join us for the presentation of certificates, presenting to Dr. Kim Law.
Something about what it takes to come to this day. Having been part of a parent political action committee out on the East Coast that trudged through snow drifts and below zero temperatures to knock on doors to get voters to support a school district's facilities bond. This is a proud day for this community. This day reflects this community, the school board, this administration's commitment to providing 21st century facilities to educate and prepare 21st century students and workers. On behalf of the Assembly Member Sabrina Cervantes, we are so grateful for this day. Your community is responsible for Measure GG. Thank you for doing that. So on behalf of the California State Assembly, it is my privilege to present the Certificate of Recognition. The Eastvale STEM Academy will be instrumental in preparing our students to be the innovators, thinkers, and problem solvers of the 21st century. I applaud your commitment to providing our future generations an accessible education in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. Congratulations, Assembly Member Sabrina Cervantes.
It's hard to believe that it's been 5 years since the passage of Measure GG, and shortly thereafter you all got to work with forming the advisory committees, and it feels like just yesterday that we went on the tour to some of the schools in Orange County. But this didn't happen overnight. This truly was a labor of love, and this amazing result is all due to the school district's commitment from the very beginning to stakeholder engagement. And that wasn't just people like me. I had very little to do with this. It had to do with engagement with students to see what they want, what they envision for their classrooms and for their learning environments. It was engaging with the residents of Eastvale, the taxpayers responsible for this amazing building, and engagement with other educators and with representatives of industry to truly bring together a program that will always be forward-thinking. So with that, on behalf of Senator Roth, I present this certificate of recognition celebrating the ribbon cutting and grand opening of this wonderful building, and we wish the eSTEM Academy all success.
So almost a year in as the mayor, and my very first certificate that I gave, I forgot to sign it, and it was to our outgoing sheriff. This is probably one of the last certificates I'm giving, and I almost gave you the wrong certificate. So. Sorry. But on behalf of our city, behalf of the city council, we are so grateful for this facility being here. I'd like to thank the both of you, but also thank our board that represents Corona-Norco and Eastvale. Even though it's Corona-Norco Unified School District, we're working on that. But even though you represent the three cities, we are so grateful for your trust in Eastvale and for bringing this facility to Eastvale. Thank you to those residents that started this program at the very beginning for having that motivation and continuing through that. This is such a great opportunity for our students here to be able to have state-of-the-art technology, to have all those things to be able to learn and grow. We look forward to what it's going to do for our city, what it's going to do for these students, and we wish you the best of luck. So thank you.
Well, I've been around. My name is Ted Hoffman from the Norco City Council, and I've been around long enough to know what it used to be just Corona Unified School District. And I am proud to say I am a product of the Corona-Norco Unified School District, a 1970 graduate of Norco High, thanks to the vision of the school board at that time. It's been a long time. I grew up in this valley when dairies were here. And to see these buildings and the homes that are here and the progress the school district along with the board has done in here, it's amazing to see what, my former homelands become, the dairy lands have become of this. And that's a tribute to the citizens here in Eastvale, and the citizens of the school district look forward to see what they're going to do. I recall graduating high school, my first computer was a slide rule, okay? That's what we taught. I got a Texas Instrument calculator. Yeah, a slide rule, you remember those things? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was it. I went to Cal Poly, Pomona, and the computer, you can't go in there, it's a big room. It's amazing. I have a computer in my pocket now. So kids, these people here, the generation before you, have helped you come along. Appreciate what they've done. Think of what they're going to do for you, and they're invested in your future. And that's the important thing of STEM. It's an investment in the future. I look back and I see Gina. Her dad taught me that when I learned from him at SAC. Hands-on program. That's what you learn. And that's what STEM is all about. We can teach you, and they're going to teach you out of the books, but there's nothing better than hands-on learning. And so for that, from the City of Norco, the City of Norco hereby recognizes Eastvale STEM Academy for providing students a learning experience that takes the process of critical thinking, problem solving, innovation, and collaboration, integrates it into the curriculum of real-world science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We congratulate you on this.
Good morning. I'm not good with big speeches, so I'll try my best. On behalf of Supervisor Karen Spiegel, I'd like to present two certificates, actually. One to Eleanor Roosevelt High School and one to the Corona-Norco Unified School District for improving the communities of the Southern California region with launching the STEM program. Congratulations.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Sam Brindostra, and I'm wearing the hat right now of the Corona Chamber of Commerce. So many of you know Mike Ryan, the chairman, and Bobby Spiegel, the CEO. They just couldn't be here. They were committed, but at another event. But we wanted to be here and present. So as a member of the chamber, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Dr. Law and Dr. Goins. So really proud of the program. Just like others have said, I think all of you did a wonderful job describing, Emma, who I'm not sure if she still did another wonderful job describing what the program is all about. When it's all said and done, we have high caliber students here, but with the research that's taking place, we call it project-based learning, wonderful, with the collaboration that everyone here is bringing and has brought. With the deep learning that's taking place, everything sets up for just greatness here. So congratulations to all of you, obviously to our board. Congratulations, Dr. Lin. Thank you for your leadership. So with that, as a Corona Chamber of Commerce member, I say congratulations to the eSTEM Academy. Congratulations. Thank you. Beautiful day in Eastvale. Another building with all these resources for our future generation was built in 2.5 hours. And great. It Eastvale continue to grow. Congratulations on behalf of Eastvale Chamber of Commerce, local businesses, and I would like to present you the certificate. Congratulations.
Before we end our this morning's program with the official ribbon cutting, I just want to remind everyone that we have student ambassadors very, very eager to show off this facility. So they will be giving tours immediately following the ribbon cutting. Wave your hands, student ambassadors. They'll be right outside the doors. Just look for them, and they will take you on an amazing journey through this eSTEM building. So at this time, we are going to invite our board members and local elected officials to join us for the ribbon cutting. And I believe it is right over there between those two balloon pillars. So if we could make our way over there at this time.
Are we all holding it together? Can we all hold it together? Ready?
Chop, chop, chop. All right.